it's been 3 weeks and man did we collect some new logs. Before we start, I would just like to thank all 40 subscribers who tuned in for this adventure. This episode's gonna be an absolute banger, so if you managed to stick around and watch all of it, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you enjoy it enough to join us by subscribing to the channel, so we can share this adventure with as many people as possible. So, without further ado, let's begin. As an early game Ultimate Ironman, there will be a lot of questing to do. And the most irritating thing about that is you don't have a high agility level, you will lose a lot of run energy. So one of the first things that I really wanted to get was the graceful outfit. Not just because it functions as an energy saver and an energy regainer, but also because it's 6 collection log slots. And I believe we already got the boots before, but right now we are collecting the rest of this outfit with the Marks of Grace that we got on the Canvas Agility course, gaining us 58 agility and yeah, a full graceful outfit. As you can see, the clan was very happy to see that happen. And as everyone knows who plays this game, when the first tedious grind ends, the next tedious grind starts. So we went straight from agility into doing the fishing trawler, getting the angler's outfit, and it's always really tricky to play this minigame because you could go really dry. I've heard people who went 150 kc to get what should be like 1 in 15 or something angler's pieces, while I got it in around 60 to 70 kc, which is I think is a little bit above rate, but it was still doable. I have been very lucky on different accounts before where I got all of the pieces in like 20 kc, but yeah, I was all in all pretty happy with how this turned out. And of course I will not show you the entire grind because that's really boring to look at, but I'm showing you the drops right now, the tasty collection log slots that we got, and yeah, we're ready to do some fishing later in the future. And we got some mime boots and mime top. It's always great to get the random event logs because you don't have a guarantee to get them, you know? You have to be lucky. And today we were lucky, so that's very nice. First clue of the episode, and it's nothing but we continue grinding. You might not know this, but I'm actually a pretty intense fashionscape player. I like cosmetic items that you have to earn yourself, but that look really well in a self-designed or self-arranged outfit. And one of the items that I really wanted to get that's also useful, because it has a teleport and it fills 4 collection log slots, is the Skull Scepter. So it was time to revisit the Stronghold of Security, not for money this time, but to get the parts of the Skull Scepter and also to retrieve what is rightfully ours at the bottom of the Stronghold of Security, namely the best fashionscape item in the entire game, the fancy boots. You might try to fight what I'm saying here, but you know it's true in your heart, and there might only be one RuneScape item that could trump it, as we will see in another episode. But for now, I chose the fancy boots and I didn't go for the fighter's boots because who would ever choose those? And we do not even speak of their combination because we're old school like that. By collecting the top of the scepter, we reached our 50th collection log slot, and now with our 51st collection log slot, we are well on our way to reach the 100 slots and get our first Staff of Collection. This brings me to the goal of this episode, which is collecting 100 log slots and starting the Bronze Age. With a great fashionscape item in the Skull Scepter comes a very great fashionscape armor set. This is not just a fashionscape set, but this is also the equivalent of, I think, between mithril and adamant armor, which is a little bit less than what we are wearing right now, but it looks so great that I just wanted to collect this. Not to mention that getting this armor, the tier 5 armor, gives you 25 collection log slots, which is such a huge boost to our goal of 100 collection log slots in this episode. So, as you can see right now, we are grinding our ass off just to get the entire catalog of Shazian armor sets. So that's when I realized that the tier 4 warriors were too much to handle and we had to get protect from melee. Sadly, due to unforeseen circumstances, I don't have the footage, but yay, we got 43 prayer! With 43 prayer and protect from melee unlocked, the tier 4 warriors were a breeze to defeat. The only problem during this entire process was inventory management, as we needed 10 inventory spots in an ideal world. 5 to keep the pieces of armor that initiate the next battle, and 5 to collect the next set of armor. So when I started killing the tier 4 warriors, I just decided to store the graceful outfit inside my POH, and now we had enough inventory spots to continue collecting the armor. When I wanted to store a set of armor, we were visited by another random event, the Beekeeper. This super easy event is always worth it, as it gives you an XP lamp on top of potential collection log slots. And so, the Beekeeper's legs were ours. After that, it didn't take long before we had collected every single piece of Shazian armor. Finally, we had a really nice look for the account, and we were 25 collection log slots richer. At this point, I was already planning my next steps to collect some logs, and I figured that while I was editing, I could easily AFK sand crabs to gain some combat XP and to juggle some easy clues. But before we started, I just wanted to take in the beauty and the glory of the tier 5 Shazian armor with overheads and the skull scepter. Clue scrolls are a great way to collect some collection log slots, but there is another collection log that is really full with a lot of potential slots, and that is the forestry collection log. So I decided to go to the Enchanted Valley to kill some tree spirits and get a free rune axe, which they drop. This would also be a great resource for nature runes and different herbs, even though I wasn't really doing herb lore yet. So most of the drops that I got, I just left them on the ground until I got the rune axe and I was ready to do some wood cutting. But before that, it was finally time to complete some clue scrolls and try to get some items for our collection. We completed 4 easy caskets, so let's see what they have for us. Not too much.
Collection log slot completed.
That's a tasty collection log slot. Not too much.
Collection log slot.
And another collection log slot. That's really good. 2 pieces of the mime outfit. And back to the sand crabs to juggle some easy clue scrolls. As you can see, there are 4 lying around already. Completing easy clue scrolls becomes easier and easier because every time we get a stash clue, I try to make the stash and put the items in it so that we can complete every clue as fast as possible and have some items stored that we might need in the future. So for our first clue we don't get much, but in the second clue there is a Gothics page 2 and it's followed by another dud clue. But we end up with another unique item and it's the Studded Chaps G, which is sadly a duplicate, but we also get 7 law runes and that's very, very, very useful. So we got another chance at the Gravedigger event and last time we got some duplicates, but this time it looks like we finally got some uniques again, the zombie gloves and the zombie trousers. As we grinded to start our next grind, we got 5 more easy clues that I want to complete to see if we can get some more collection log slots, but now we are really prepared to start our next grind, which will have something to do with fighting. We are closing in on the 100 collection log slots, so with these 5 caskets I am hoping to get something to get even closer to that. The first casket gives us a Gothics page 4, and not only that, it also gives us a teleport, and I believe it's a pest control teleport, which brings us to 86 collection log slots. The next casket doesn't have much in it, but when opening the third casket we got a leather body G, which is a new collection log slot for us, and also some really good fashionscape. The final 2 caskets don't give us much, but we also have a bonus casket and that gave us the green elegant legs. So that concludes the clue grind on this episode, and although we will be having more of those in other episodes, I think I'll be editing them a bit more efficient than this one, unless you like to see treasure trails, but do let me know in the comments if that is the case. The time had finally come to start a grind that I was looking forward to for a very long time. It was time to get the Dragon Defender. And in order to get that Defender, you have to collect all these other Defenders as well. Starting from Bronze up until Iron, Steel, Black, Mithril, Adamant, Rune, and then finally Dragon. So after killing about 100 Cyclopes, I managed to start getting the Defenders one by one. We first got the Bronze one. Then after some time we also got the Iron one. And then of course at around 200 KC I got the Steel Defender as well. It was at that moment that I got an invite from some clanmates to do a raid. And I decided to accept the offer because I wanted to get some easy combat achievements, and you never know if you can get something on the first run. That would be really, really cool. So let's see what happened. The first run I just had to take a backseat and watch my clanmates complete it. But in the second room I even got to hit the Ice Demon for the killing blow and get a very nice combat achievement. I got Together We'll Fall and Perfectly Balanced as combat achievements in the next room, and Redemption Enthusiast in the next one. Behold 2 Giga Chads slaving away for their newbie clanmate, so he can try and get a drop in 1 KC Chambers of Xeric. Of course the combat achievements are already something really nice to get, but it would be amazing to get the drop.
Collection log slot completed.
Hoe bedoel je collection log slot?
Hij is 12 probex.
Ga stuk!
Dat is preserve.
Lekker man. Hoeveel points had je?
Even kijken, dit was... Oh, wat staat er? Ik heb in ieder geval de easies. Dus dat is chill.
Lekker perk, hoppa!
Nice, thanks. It was time to collect her loot from the chest and read what it does. You can make out some faded words on the ancient parchment. It appears to be an archaic invocation. Yeah, learn to preserve. Sick! Oh, that's the preserve prayer.
Ja. Ja man.
With 1 Chambers of Xeric drop in our collection log slot and 1 KC recorded, we were very happy to continue the grind that we started with reinvigorated courage. We were so confident that we even managed to get a lucky drop other than a defender. A 1 in I think 5,000 drop, namely the Longbone. This is a very useful item that you can bury if you want to, but that will be a waste, because you could also trade it in the Dorgashun city. It will not only get you a little bit of lore, but it will get you construction XP. And construction XP is so important for an Ultimate Ironman, especially an Ultimate Ironman that doesn't plan on doing construction for some time. Oh my god, no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Wow, I actually died. Yep, that's right. I became overconfident and I started playing when I was sleepy, recording as well, so at least we got the content of me dying, but yeah, I fell asleep in front of my computer and now all my items are in the Warriors Guild. I need tokens. I need armor to kill things to get the tokens, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna solve this. I realized that I lost my looting bag too, with all the items in it, so I went to the Discord of my clan and I laid out a plan. I had to get in 3 times. 1 time to gather the essentials so I can grind out a looting bag again. a second time to gather the loot that was in the looting bag, and then a third time to collect the rest of the items. On screen you can read the detailed plan that I made in order to do all of this in 1 hour, which is the time that I had before all my items were lost for all eternity. No pressure. To be able to do all of this in 1 hour, I knew that I would have to run a lot. So getting the graceful outfit out of my POH was going to be essential as a first step. But I also had to kill goblins for money because I needed to buy a knife and pay for the Remington boat to Ardoin. I would need the knife to make the Drayman staff, and I would need the Remington boat to go to Ardoin to get my Ardoin cloak back. These were essential items because in order to travel along the map and save as much time as possible, I would need all my essential teleporting items. It was also important to get the Drayman staff first because we needed to go to Entrana, and you can't take any gear with you to Entrana except for the graceful outfit or other outfits that don't have combat bonuses. Once we arrived in Entrana, we would need to fight zombies to get an axe, then cut the magical tree to get a branch and make it into a Drayman staff, and make our way as fast as possible to Ardoin. The graceful outfit was already paying off dividends as we were not losing too much run energy, and we were able to buy our Ardoin cloak back so that we can teleport across the map. Keeping in mind that we would need to gather tokens to return back into the Warriors Guild where the Cyclopes live, we would need steel or mithril armor that we can animate and fight in order to earn tokens. There wasn't enough time to gather mithril or steel armor sets from spawn points in the world, so the fastest way to get them was to buy them from the stores. But in order to buy stuff, you need money first. And that's why we went to the Agility Pyramid. With a little bit of luck, we will be able to clear enough Agility Pyramid labs to steal the top of the pyramid and bring it in for 10k apiece. I thought that we would need around 50k, but after looking up some prices, we should be okay with 20k GP. Enough to get us mithril armor or steel armor and enough runes to teleport across the map to even more places than we were able to before, with shorter running distances saving us precious minutes. To add to the time save, we also bought a Chronicle, teleported to Varrock, and went to buy our first piece of armor, the steel plate body. Of course, we would need 2 more armor pieces in the steel variety, so we went to Barbarian Village to get the steel full helm, and we went to the desert to get the steel blade legs. Of course, we would need a weapon to even kill the reanimated armor, so the best thing that we could find that was also close to us was a mithril scimitar. And while we were there, we could also buy ourselves 10 law runes, and after that visit Aubrey to buy enough elemental runes to teleport to Felidor whenever we want and be able to run to the Warriors Guild as many times as we want without having the minigame teleport cooldown timer. We collected our Shazian armor tier 4 that we stored in our POH so that we can actually fight and survive against reanimated armor, because reanimated armor does hit like a truck, especially if it's mithril armor. That's why we chose to buy steel armor so that we can hopefully last a little longer and gather enough tokens without needing to heal every time or buy new healing food every time. We could finally see our items lying on the ground, and we would need to get some gear, some tokens and some food to get ourselves a looting bag. And of course, to add insult to injury, we managed to get a bronze defender drop in the one Cyclops that we kill. As if I hadn't suffered enough psychological damage, we were readying ourselves to go to the wilderness to farm a looting bag from rats near Ferox's Enclave. Fearing for my life, I had no choice but to run straight into the wilderness and try to kill as many rats as possible to get that coveted looting bag. When we finally got it, I was so happy that it didn't take too long and we were ready for the next step in our death plan. The second time we had to enter the Warriors Guild was to collect everything that was inside the looting bag before and try to put it back into the looting bag, which also includes me going back into the wilderness to put those things into the looting bag. But as you can see right here, there were too many items that were in the looting bag for me to do this in one run. So I would have to go to the wilderness twice to put everything in the looting bag that used to be in the looting bag before. So I made my way to Edgeville, which was the area closest to the wilderness ditch I could find, and also possibly the safest. At least that's what I thought, until I got the biggest heart attack of my life when the screen started flashing red. I was so lucky that there wasn't someone in the wilderness, but that there was just a passerby going to the Grand Exchange. I just know that I would have lost every single item in the Warriors Guild trying to retrieve 2 death piles. So I just put everything I could into the looting bag as fast as possible so I could return to the Warriors Guild and finish my stack of items there. And now time was really ticking because there was less than 10 minutes left. I still had to go and retrieve more items to put into the looting bag, and I would need to return one more time to get the final items and put them in my inventory. So back to Edgeville we went in a last ditch effort to try and fill our looting bag so we could maybe, just maybe, get the items that were lying on the ground in the Warriors Guild with less than 5 minutes to spare. So as you can possibly imagine, my heart was beating in my throat. I had been going at this for almost 1 hour with this completely convoluted tactic, something that I didn't think about when I was fighting in the Warriors Guild, and I will never ever be sleepy when playing again, because I definitely learned my lesson this time. With less than 3 minutes to spare, we got all the items that were lost during the death, and we could continue our defender grind. So after being through absolute hell, we restocked in our POH and we got our next defender, which was the Mithril Defender. Not too long after that, we also got the Adamant Defender, and even though the KC was really high at this point, I didn't really care too much because it didn't take too long before we got the Rune Defender as well, and I just wanted to get this grind over with. A very cheeky Freaky Forester event actually made it possible for us to get close to the 100 collection log slots, and as if fate itself was on my side, we also got a Beekeeper event for another collection log slot, which means that no matter what happens, if we get another random event or the Dragon Defender, we will be at 100 collection log slots. Oh my god, yes! Yes, that's 100! Oh yes, we got 100. Okay guys, we got 100 collection log slots. I'm so happy to see this. And we got the Dragon Defender as well. This is really great for the account because now we can finally start the first age of the account, which is going to be the Bronze Age. This is so nice to get this. I'm totally relieved. With 100 collection log slots achieved, the collector in the Verg Museum can count our collection log and we achieve our first Staff of Collection, which is the Bronze Staff of Collection, and it looks absolutely stunning. We started this episode as a bum with 36 collection log slots, and now we have this Fashionscape, a Bronze Staff of Collection, overhead prayers, Shazian armor. We collected all these defenders, we got random events, we got a Torn Prayer Scroll, and it's just a great episode for the account. I hope you enjoyed it so much that you want to subscribe and to join this journey with me, because this is going to be a wild ride, and I want all of you to be a part of it.